So there are two interesting things changing in 11.1, which is worth pointing out right now, just in case you don't get surprised or you don't live under a rock, the patch comes out and then you wonder why this thing isn't working like it was before. So a couple of the changes happen. One is we can say in favor of casters. Apparently this entire first season casters have been scammed without their knowledge about a power-up in the game that Blizzard is going to adjust in Season 2. Now, let's go to the auctionals, let's enchant ourselves. In particular, let's put the enchants in our pants. We can even do it live. We have our pants over here and our pants over here. They are the same. This one has the 930 agility or strength enchant with stamina, and this one has the intellect version. So the first thing that's noticeable is that this one gives you 895 stamina and this one gives you 230. And you're like, well, casters are more safe than melee. Melees are more in danger of taking mechanics, they're more in danger of getting hit, so we just want to give them a bit more stamina compared to a caster. That's kind of the logic there. And okay, fine, that somewhat makes sense, right? But the question then comes, what about the primary stat though? Because this one is 747 intellect. This one is 930 agility. Who decided strength and agility users were going to get 180 more primary stats than casters were? What is even more confusing right now is that if you see this character, which is just generically built with agility, as 57,500 agility. If I were to respec to resto right now with the automatic gear swap, you will see that my agility would change to intellect and increase by about 13,000. Now, this is happening because this character swaps with the exact same primary stats. You can see here, intellect is the same value as agility. And this is for every item. You can see here, even the strength is the exact same. All the pieces simply swap to the exact same number of the different primary stat. So how do you get 13,000 more intellect? Is it because the base number of intellect is higher than agility? No, the reason is weapons. The reason is agility and strength users also scale off of the damage of their weapon. So as a result, they gain less primary stat from their weapon. You see this 639 weapon with 1,900 agility. So you are wearing two of them, of course, you are dual wielding. That's 3,800 agility. This is a single shield, and it gives me 5,800 intellect, which is 2,000 more than two weapons for agility. We can simply look at our staff instead. That's 16,000. It's actually 636 item level, so it would be closer to 17,000, which is about 13,000 more than wearing double agility weapon. So that's why you gain your extra intellect. But then in that case, the question becomes even weirder. If the average intellect class requires even more intellect than the average agility or strength class, then how is it that the enchant itself is more powerful for agility and strength than the one for intellect? We just established you need more intellect than your agility or strength class to do damage or healing, so wouldn't it make sense for this one to be even higher, this buff to be even stronger? Well, Blizzard is gonna kind of meet us halfway, because the change is that now in 11.1, so not right now in live, but in the next patch, this enchant, all of the leg enchants for intellect will be normalized to have the same primary stat number as the agility and strength ones. So these will go up to 930 primary stat, and also actually they will go up in stamina as well. They will be practically the same copy of this item. That is the first change that will happen in 11.1. The second change that will happen in 11.1, it is something we mentioned, it is something we touched on already, which was the power of your Citrine gems. Now, this gem has been memed on for the first few weeks, and even in the PTR when it was very weak, it was kind of scuffed, it wasn't being very powerful, so of course, as expected, Blizzard buffed this gem about 15 times in order to make it more valuable. However, they found something they didn't like, of course. What they didn't like was what we have made a video about, which was being able to not maximize your character. Instead, they went for more alternative measures. Alternative measures like, for example, use for your yellow gem the single target heal gem, use for your red gem the 5 target heal gem, and then for the blue gem use the 3 target heal gem, and just use them all at once. Or maybe do the half-half split where you have half the raid running the Roaring Thunder Citrine, which has a chance to proc 4 of your allies' yellow gem at the same time. So for one of them you would proc 4 of these at the same time for massive ups of shields throughout the whole raid. You have seen the point about running raids without a single healer, for example. Even in Mythic Plus this was being abused a little bit, and Blizzard said no. So in 11.1, so for now still this is still working just fine, but in 11.1 the value of the heal of the gems is going to be reduced by 33% for non-heal specializations, making them much less valuable to use. Now, with some pride I can say that's exactly the kind of prediction I made about I wonder how Blizzard is going to fix this. This seemed like the most logical avenue to go for, just to make them less valuable, but only for DPS, because of course healers would still kind of want to benefit from this effect. This was kind of relevant because unlike last expansion's version of this ring, the Onyx Amulet, this one, as we have been seeing, has kept increasing in item level. In fact, next reset will be the last time we are upgrading this up to 658 item level, which will be at the same level as an heroic raid level ring next tier, meaning it will still be powerful, meaning that whichever cooked strategy you came up with now might have still worked for the next season as well, because this ring will remain relevant. So next season it will be much less likely that you will be able to run these massive extra healing comps thanks to the power of this ring by equipping bonus healing on non-healing specs. Then for the last piece of news, this honestly is quite sad to even have to go through, is the news that Blizzard unsurprisingly took a grand total amount of less than 48 hours to cave into the complaints of the normiest of the player base, which was up in arms for the update of Marksmanship Hunter in 11.1. Now, it wasn't necessarily about the update of the talent trees being heavily changed and reworked and adding a few more mechanics, etc, etc. It was about the pet. Because when you look at the hunter, even Marksmanship Hunter, when you go to the class, you still have all of your default pet stuff, right? That you can use, the dismiss pet, call pet, you have the tame beast, revive pet, mend pet, feed pet, whatever. And then you have this, right? Lone Wolf, just don't use the pet. That's kind of what most Marksmanship Hunters were playing, but some players living still in 2007 still wanted to play Marksmanship Hunter and still use their pet. Now, in 11.1, what happened is if you go to the pet talents, what happens is that Lone Wolf is gone. There's no Lone Wolf here. Okay, so do we have the pet baseline? No, because when you go from the class of the Hunter, which still has all of the pet stuff, right, all of it. When you move over to Marksmanship spec specific features, now you had Eyes in the Sky. Gaining the aid of a spotting eagle replaced your pet. All of your pet functionalities, you had no more commands to move your pet around and whatnot. You still had Bloodlust now, as an actual button without having to use your pet for it, but then your pet was gone. So even talents that required a pet before in 11.0.7 right now, like Intimidation, for example, commands your pet. Well, now we have to change it for hunters because you don't have a pet. So it now changes to your spotting eagle descends from the skies, stunning your target. Your eagle is not targetable, is not attackable by enemies, etc, etc. It was just an imaginary friend you had around you. Basically, it was like a cosmetic pet. It's like if you went here and you look for an eagle. I don't have eagles. Okay, fine. Bird. This kind of looks like an eagle actually, so there you go. That's the hunter's pet in 11.1. If you were playing marksmanship, you can't actually target him for anything other than, I don't know, humiliating him, maybe, perhaps. That was it. So Blizzard walked back on this. They have walked back, and now in 11.1, in the next build, they will give you back the ability to have a pet by adding the Unbreakable Bond talent as a choice node right over here to give you back your pet. Now, all of the hunter's functionality will still be with your spotting eagle. Your eagle is not gone. All of the mechanics around marksmanship hunter, around spotter's mark, as well as around other mechanics like, for example, as mentioned, intimidation, all of these will still be with your eagle, but at least now you will have your pet out again. It will do practically nothing, it will do practically no damage whatsoever, but now it is back for marksmanship as well. So again, everyone who complained with their tear-jerky story of having tamed a pet in 2005 and having kept it as their hunter companion for 20 years now can still have their pet when playing marksmanship. That's the other change that will happen in 11.1. These were the three main changes to point out for 11.1. The lining up of the intellect enchantments for your pens to be the same as agility and strength, the nerf of the healing gems for your search's signet for non-healing specializations, as well as marksmanship hunters getting back their pet. So this was the last addition, the last batch of changes planned for 11.1. from Blizzard. So for today, on this Saturday, it is once again time to leave each other. We're starting the goodbyes by thanking everyone for having watched the video, together with, of course, everyone else who has been supporting completely for free by liking and commenting down below, as well as subscribing to the channel itself. Now, with these things out of the way, thank you guys again for watching. See you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, you know what, I wanted the video to be quick. It's kind of quick, but we could have shaved a couple more minutes out of this, to be honest.